Hey YouTube, it's Cobalt Blue again. Oh boy, we got quite the goodie today. No, I wasn't diagnosed with a life-threatening illness or thrown in jail. What I got for you today is a review of a rare Spider-Man 3 hidden gem. The Ooze Attack New Goblin vs. Sandman. A fever dream of sorts. I never once believed that I'd ever have a chance to lay hands on this catch, let alone buy and own it. Enough gushing. During the summer of 2018, this is when my general knowledge of Spider-Man 3 vastly expanded thanks to William D1123 sharing that thread of lost and deleted scenes on Twitter. Not to say that my knowledge was limited, but there was so much more to learn than I ever thought possible. That's when one night at around 1:30 in the morning on popscreen.com, I stumbled across something rare and mostly unheard of. A hidden 7th Ooze Attack set, the New Goblin vs. Sandman with Spring Back Attack. Being 4 in 2007, I had grown a particularly potent attachment to the toys made for the film that last to this very day. So you can only imagine my amazement when I made this discovery at the age of 15. Thanks to Tobey Maguire Solos on Instagram, he was the one who brought the sale of this set to my attention. On November 11th of this year, he DM'd me 2 pictures of it, although he didn't provide the source. Just one reverse image search brought me to eBay, the best online store of all time. Fuck Amazon. Placed at a bidding price of $99.95 with free shipping, the listed presented the set out of box. A real bummer, yeah, but once payday arrived, I rigidly executed my plan to secure the purchase. It was an insane night of work that day, so I earned it, and every cent was worth it! Before it could arrive in the mail, I reached out to the seller for any further details. How did they get it? Why is it so rare? Why am I such a Spider-Man 3 nutjob? Alright, maybe not that. Without high expectations, the seller actually responded. He was very kind and forthcoming, stating that he opened figures when the mood struck him. Though he had no concrete idea as to why it was so rare, he speculated it could have been released regionally, which would line up with another Spider-Man 3 rarity, the Stretch Attack Sandman. He also mentioned that the ooze had turned to pure liquid, which was no problem for me because I got a few tricks up my sleeve. Without the original packaging, we'll have to refer to pictures. Just like with my previous video on the Ooze Attack series, the packaging is really nothing special. Though it does share a visual similarity to the Spider-Man vs. Venom symbiote set, Harry posed high above Flint encased with 2 pumpkin bombs and a vial of Goblin ooze. Fun fact, this is the only set in the Ooze Attack series to include Goblin ooze with the exception of the 3 refill packs.
Postscript fun fact. Crepundia.Caesar.net says that this was released in a second wave of Ooze Attack figures, including the Spider-Man vs. New Goblin, Sandman vs. New Goblin, and Venom symbiote mutation.
Luckily, the seller did include the original cardboard backing from the box, so let's take a look at that. The read-up goes, "Nothing can stand in Flint Marco's way. As the powerful Sandman, he is nearly invulnerable to damage, and incredibly strong. He is able to change the density of the sand that makes up his body to turn his arms into steel-hard weapons, or disappear in the blink of an eye like a dust in the wind. A single blow from his mighty arms can turn concrete into powder. One messed up dodge by Spider-Man and it's over for the web slinger." Demonstrating Sandman's play feature, the box on the left reads, "Super detailed figures. Sandman melts when hit in the head, then springs back into action." On the right of Harry it says, "Includes 2 pumpkin bombs." Below shows only 2 other toys, Venom with the symbiote mutation and Spider-Man vs. New Goblin. I mentioned it in the Ooze video, but this is the only picture that depicts the mutation set in the correct configuration. With the minimal packaging inspection over, it's time we take a closer look at our prize. Let's start with Harry. As he stands on his own, he appears no different than the other New Goblin figures, but that's simply not the case. Sharing the same exact articulation as the one packaged in the other Ooze Attack set, this version lacks any extra protection, buckles, or straps for his shins or ankles, which is accurate to the film, meaning the ones that do include the extra sculpting are inaccurate. Other than that minor detail, the sculpt remains the same, although it does appear to be less shiny than the others. Moving on to Sandman, he is way more buff than any of the other figures. It should also be noted that this Sandman has bright orange hair. Not to say none of the others didn't have orange hair, but this is the brightest shade of orange yet, which does kind of throw me off. He also looks to be the saddest of them all. The overall sand sculpt is pretty nice, relatively consistent with the rest of them. Strangely, this Sandman has 3 fingers and 1 thumb. Well, I guess that makes it a 4-fingered hand, but you get what I'm saying. His pants have a rather strange wood grain texture, though a neat detail I really appreciate is the small bit of his actual boots showing under the piles of sand forming around his legs. As I mentioned earlier, Harry's articulation is the same as the other one in the other set. Disc hinge head, shoulder movement, waist swivel, excellent leg articulation, double jointed knees, and a disc hinged ankles with bonus swivel. Flint over here technically has only 2 points of articulation in his shoulders, but he serves more as the play feature rather than a genuine action figure toy, so there's not much in regard of his articulation. This set comes with 2 pumpkin bombs, 1 vial of Goblin Ooze, 1 of those booklets, and the instructions. Here we go, the main event. Bring in Flint, put Harry in position, and you're off. Press down on Sandman's head to make him collapse. Connected by strings, he will fall apart in many pieces. After that, press the button on Flint's back to make him spring back up and ready for battle. Yeah, it doesn't work as ideally as it should, but it is a cool concept. Now the tricky part. Figuring out what to do with the Ooze. All the other sets included accessories that would seamlessly incorporate the Ooze into the overall set, but this one on the other hand just has 2 figures, so it's rather puzzling as to how you're supposed to play with it. I guess that's because I'm an adult, and this was made for kids who still haven't been beaten down by the world for having an active imagination. So the best thing I could think of was a bukkake. Don't question my logic. So what are my thoughts on this set? I blew my fucking money and I'm just playing. No, this set is both underwhelming, but very exciting. What makes it most underwhelming is the lack of any substantial Ooze accessory. The symbiote set used the actual symbiote for the Ooze, the jaw trap allowed figures to be doused in Ooze, and even the mutation set completely hinged on the church floor as its play feature for the Ooze. Even these 3 sets that I haven't reviewed included some type of apparatus or feature that let the Ooze be fun. Spider-Man flinging Ooze, Sandman with a sand compound that can be used as an extension for his figures. It's a mystery as to why this was an Ooze set to begin with, since there's no real incentive to play with the Ooze. The Sandman feature didn't work as well as I hoped. New Goblin has minimal articulation compared to the disc launching version, and there's no reason for the Ooze. And despite those grievances, I absolutely love this set, because I didn't buy this for myself. I bought the Final Battle playset for myself. I bought this Ooze Attack set for you guys, my adoring crowd. I bought it because it was so rare, because not even the most dedicated and hardcore Spider-Man 3 fans know about this. You can't begin to imagine how horrible of a day I had when I finally secured the purchase. I worked at a seasonal restaurant, and with it already being a busy-ass Saturday night, shit really hit the fan when a bus of 26 people pulled up. A $2,000 ticket. Let that sink in for just one moment. That averages close to $80 per person. Plus, I was the only able-bodied cook, the other cook being the bitch manager who was drunk off her ass, yelling at me for trying to polish our work. Fuck that place. I don't mean to trauma dump, but holy shit, I endured for you guys and I hope I delivered. Now you get why I cried like a little bitch in that announcement. Anyway, long ass tangent over. It's time to grade this set. As a Spider-Man 3 fan, I give it an A. As a collector, I give it an A+, and as a kid, I give it a C. I don't have much else to say. The set is so rare it put me at a near loss for words. Though I will say this. If you ever have the chance to find this sealed in the box, do not take it out. Leave it in there. I feel kind of similar to the way I did with the symbiote set. It's cool and somewhat fun, but its beauty is way more apparent when it's sealed. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed your first big present. I put a lot of work and dedication into it, and I hope it shows. I got huge bills to pay, so I'll let you guys enjoy the video while I'm at work busting my ass while everyone sits on their phones and complains. Merry Christmas, everyone. I love you all.